Hey Reddit. Retail workers of Reddit. What is your best method for passing time? Like and subscribe to support the channel. And share how you pass time in the comments below. Do not look at the time. Big mistake. At my job there's a giant clock right in front of my face. I'm aware of every second that goes by. They should invent a wall clock that only comes on when set for alarms. Like lunchtime and end of day time. I had a coworker who would announce the time like every 20 minutes. Shifts with her were longer than any other. I think you secretly worked with the devil. Chatting with coworkers mostly. That and imagining a different reality in my head. Or yes, I've mentioned this before on an older thread. But putting yourself in a fictional world and Mary suing the shiz out of it is so much fun. It's not just retail. Office workers do it regularly. Sometimes literally, since I do know some aspiring writers that just take the downtime to draft things. I can always tell which ones are the fanfic writers. I work as a grocery cashier and it gets boring fast scanning items and standing for hours and time goes by very slow. I play a game with myself where I choose count for one specific thing like bad tattoos, so every 10 people I see who I consider to have a bad tattoo I check the clock. Every 20 people who come in with their dog in a stroller, very common in my store, I check the clock ECT. Definitely lots of people watching. Coming up with games about the customers or with the customers. I think retail stoked my love of conflict because it broke up the day when a customer was an asshole. Oh, I definitely enjoy messing with rude customers. I got a complaint to management yesterday cause I embarrassed the man by laughing at him. I find laughing when customers are being rude makes them livid and you can't really get in trouble for laughing. I used to draw sad clowns on the back of receipt paper. The sadder the better. Am I the only one who is interested in how the frick you draw a sad clown? Look in the mirror. When I worked retail I used to go out and slowly gather the carts. Haha, did this too. Nobody else in the store would get carts, so I had an excuse of saying, hey. At least I did it. Haha, I did this too, but I live in Phoenix. Heat stroke is great. My friend was a dedicated as in his only role trolley pusher at a supermarket and was actually pretty proud about it. In fairness, I'd seen him a few times as he'd push ridiculous lines of trolleys. He reckoned he managed over 30 in one go once. He'd often get told off for doing too many at the same time. Was dangerous apparently. So it was with great joy one of our group found the Urban Dictionary definition for trolley pusher. I know this seems crazy. But actually talking to customers can be pretty incredible. So many people starved for human interaction and everyone has an interesting story. Walks up to customer. Hey, what up? Nah, I'm okay, thanks. I'm just looking. Reddit. This is also my main way to pass time as a waiter. Fills the gaps between the rushes. I had a friend that worked at a Walmart in college and he was convinced that an employee that looked like they were working was invisible to the management staff. So he took a big broom and walked around the same set of aisles for an entire 8-hour shift and did nothing else to see if they would notice. The same manager walked by him 22 times and never said a word to him. Piece of advice to some of you. This is my superpower that I discovered when I was in retail. Always keep moving with purpose. I now have a cushy office job and I still do it 30 years later. If I'm bored I grab a couple of papers and walk quickly through other buildings. Departments. Wherever. Nobody corners me for some bullshit problem or questions what I'm up to because I'm in a hurry to get somewhere with my decoy paperwork. I'll go out to the production floor. Stare at wires in the network closet for a while or just stare at the ceiling and pretend to be looking for the wireless antenna. I've been in every office and closet in 9 buildings. Can tell you where every roof access ladder is. Every compressor. Every HVAC unit. Every security camera. Every power cage. I just look like I really was in a hurry to get there for an unstated purpose. What I got from this story. You're planning on being the inside man, woman for a robbery. I organized. My last retail job had a long-standing policy of no one was allowed to be doing nothing behind the counter because a significant amount of merchandise was behind the counter, which was so stupid so customers could shop while we were working. I made sure the shelves and pegs were organized. Clean and shop-able. I reorganized. I worked at a very slow record store and would move the records around like customers would. Then would go back and put them in alphabetical order. Dissociate. Astral project into the nearest alternate dimension. Yes. I made spreadsheets. I catalogued my coworkers' bathroom breaks, coffee breaks and how often they swore. I sometimes gave them stickers rewarding them for swearing less than last month and wouldn't tell them what it was for, so they just got stickers. The one Christian guy who never cussed hated you with a passion. Passion of the Christ. The boss makes $1. I make a dime. That's why I poop on company time. Boss makes a killing. I'm paid crap. That's why I wait for my shift to fap. I worked at Party City for 4 years and would not have been able to do it without Bluetooth headphones. My hair goes past my ears. So I'd put one headphone in one ear and hide it with my hair. Then have the other ear free if people needed me. Podcasts and audiobooks saved my sanity. Imagine how terrifying it would be to a customer if you were listening really intensely. Worked. Mainly. Boring. But when thing was slow, one of us would go to one end of the store. It was an anchor store in the mall and we'd toss a Nerf football back and forth. I had to Google that one because I didn't believe there was a store especially to sell anchors. Talking to customers. It's fun when you're like, so Carol was the one with baby and she had no husband to look after her. That's horrible. By the way, your total is 47.99. Okay, thank you, have a nice day. I sell car parts. Sometimes people have cool old weird cars. Anytime someone comes in with a Corvair, I shout unsafe at any speed and we have a half-hour chat about M. When I worked retail, I always brought a book with me or brought something that I wanted to learn, book on a language I wanted to learn. Very interesting. But how would you get away with reading it? My last retail job, I worked at a really slow mattress store. I'd grab a book from home, get in the softest memory foam bed, adjust the base to a good reading position, and read uninterrupted for as long as an hour at a time. It rocked. When I worked retail, there was never a shortage of work to do. So taking on a project made the day go by much faster. So, actually working. If you can lean, you can clean. I worked as an overnight stocker for 2 years. During that time I thought up and worked out a story idea in my head. When I got an office job I needed to fill time at. I wrote that story over 3 years of extra free time. I finished the first draft last year and have been taking a break from it while working on a new story. I'm an overnight department head in a grocery store. Similarly, I dream up recipes. And then try them out when I get a chance. The boredom is real. I work in a deli. Blowing up gloves like balloons, then sticking them to random places. Drawing dicks on things. Talking to crazy customers, great time waster if they mention anything conspiracy related. Swatting flies. Press the bell in the butcher section a million times to piss off coworkers. Eat random shiz out of the display. Antagonize my shizzy boss. Leave all the coolroom doors open and see how long it takes for head office to call and tell us off. Slap the hams and pretend they're ass cheeks. See how far across the shop I can slide when the floor is wet. Ride trolleys around. Burn things with the shrink wrapping machine. Change the language on all the scales to Hindu. Clean the display windows and see how long it takes some bratty kid or full-grown adult to rub their disgusting greasy hands all over it. Take count of the amount of times customers mispronounce completely simple product names. Throw prawns at people. The list goes on. Really? You're just zany. We have work phones with optional earpieces, the transparent Secret Service coiled earpieces. I just plug that into my phone and listen to audiobooks. 4 hours of listening so far today. 3 books finished so far this year. Hella smart. Lose myself in repetition. The irony is strong with this one, fellas.